Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to do the TESBROS Chrome Delete Kit, the mirror portion. So if you're interested, stay tuned. So here we go. This is definitely the toughest piece out of this whole kit. So get your bucket ready. Makes it a lot easier than squatting. So start with the first piece, which is kind of this top piece here on top of the mirror. So I found it a lot easier to peel from the vinyl side rather than the backing. So line up the back piece with the door. So you want to line that up and then make sure you anchor that, and then you want to work your way forward towards the actual mirror. So once you've got that anchored, then go ahead and, like I said, work it forward. Also note that there is that little curve. I'll show you a picture in just a second. This curve, so make sure you flatten that out too so there's no bubbles or creases. And work your way forward towards the mirror. Then what you want to do is use your heat and get out, basically tuck in the corner first, and then you also want to make sure you get all the creases and bubbles out of there. So go ahead and do this. It's a little bit tough with the mirror in the way because there's kind of a tight space there. So just work your squeegee around there, and you can make it work, or your hands too. And then go ahead and close the mirror so you can get basically the rest of the piece on. So hit the close button on your app, and it'll give you enough space to move this that way. I'd also recommend not washing the card, but just dusting it, because this is exactly where you don't want the water is going to be, in these little crevices and things from the mirror. So once you've done that, then go ahead and open the mirror again and use your squeegee to protect this small piece. And once you've done that, then you can work this piece around to where it's supposed to be. So use your squeegee and just basically line it up and kind of work it in there. And once you get it pretty much all the way stuck down onto the actual mirror, then what I did is I actually opened the mirror again, closed the mirror again. That way you can really finish it off and get it in the correct place. So that way you can use the squeegee in your hands. Just makes it a little bit easier. Once you've done that, then we're done with that piece. So go to D2. And so that's this curvy piece on the bottom. This piece is kind of tough too. So anchor it from the left side of the picture. Start there, and then what you want to do is work it on the bottom. So you want to do the entire bottom of this piece first. And there is a line on the actual mirror. It's kind of hard to see in the picture, but it's there. So you want to basically line up this piece with that line on the actual mirror. That's kind of your guide. So see how I'm working it just along that line there. And once you get the whole bottom done, then work the top. So you're going to have to stretch it a little bit to make it work. And so once you get it all on there, make sure you use your heat and the squeegee. So see how there's a little bubble there from the crease. So you can get it out, just use your hands, or use your heat. So that's what I'm doing now, to tuck in the corners and then get rid of all the the creases and the bubbles in there. And obviously use your squeegee to get out all the bubbles in the tight areas as well. Make this piece look really nice. So, of course, the other side of the corners too, you can use your hands to get the creases out, make it rounded out real nice. So it looks like just like the mirror. So the third part is this piece here. I started with the left side first, line it up with the door, anchor it, and then work your way across to the other side on the back. Found that to be the easiest way to do this. Once you get it anchored from the back, then just start with the straight side, so the front part of the vinyl. Work that first, and then work your way back towards the curvy side. So you can see I'm working the straight side, and then work your way back. I found that the easiest way to make it flat and not have to use too much heat in the squeegee. But obviously use the squeegee to anchor the backing, since you can't. It's kind of hard to get your hands in there since it's a sharp angle. And then of course do it with the back part too. You use your hands on this too if you want. Just make sure you got the heat going, make it a lot easier. So fourth piece is this little piece here. It just slips right in there. Pretty straightforward. So make sure you slip it in there behind that piece of the mirror that turns. And once you've got it on there, use your heat again and round out the corners and make it nice and, even with the actual mirror. So make sure you use your squeegee and get into that crease there to make sure it's sealed. It's actually, against the actual mirror. So when the mirror is turning, it doesn't catch it and ruin this piece. Next piece is D5. This is pretty straightforward too. Just put it on top here. Again, make sure you slip it in there under the mirror so it covers like all the chrome. And this way, less chance of it getting caught when the mirror turns. So use your squeegee and, press it down into place. And then you're pretty much done with that one. D6, there actually is a wider and a skinnier side. So as I'm showing here, so be careful of that. The wider side was the side opposite where the label was. So put this piece, start it here on the left and work your way across. I started with the top. So just start with the top and work the top all the way across and then work it down. So this piece is pretty straightforward though. Again, use your heat, tuck in the corners, and then make sure that the bottom is nice and flat. Alright, so make sure that's nice and smooth. Then we can go to D7. This one's kind of tricky because it's very skinny, first of all, and there's rounded corners on both sides. So go ahead and start from that side, anchor it to the round side, and then work your way across. Work it from the top, the top of this piece first, and just line it up. And then what you're going to want to do is use your heat to, get out all the bubbles and the creases and make it nice and flat against the bottom. So once you've worked it all the way across, then go ahead and, like I said, use your heat. Work it around the bottom, and then you're going to need to use your squeegee for the rounded both ends basically to make that nice and flat and basically molded to the mirror. So I'm showing you there. Definitely use the heat. After that, D8. This is one of the trickiest pieces because it's a tight space, and you need to make sure that the left side of the sticky, the left side of the vinyl is tucked into the actual part where it's supposed to go and not touching the other side of the mirror, because this is where it turns. And if you don't tuck it in, it's going to ruin this piece when the mirror closes and opens. So start from the door side and see how I'm bending it, basically folding it in there, and then just for now shoving it in there. And then what you're going to do is use your heat and the squeegee to flatten it out and make it nice and even with the actual mirror. So go ahead and put it in there. I started from the top and then worked my way down. And see there's all these bubbles and stuff right now. So you gotta fold those out and work it, make it nice and smooth. And then make sure that your squeegee, you use that with the heat to tuck in this corner. And so then I'm showing you how it's not touching the other side, the other piece, because this is, like I said, this is where the mirror closes. And so if you don't have this tucked in, it's going to ruin this piece. So be very careful about that when you're working this piece. So see, chrome on the left, vinyl on the right. So D9 is this piece here. Pretty straightforward. Just start with that piece first, and as you can see, it's crooked. So I redid it after this picture because it wasn't quite straight. And then what you want to do is go ahead and work the straight side. So line that up with and you want to overlap it just a little bit with the other one, the other piece, the skinny rounded piece, and then work your way forward. So, once you've got it anchored, then you can work out the bubbles and all the creases and all that stuff. This piece is pretty straightforward because it's a pretty flat piece for the most part. Once you've done that, you've got one more piece, D10. So this piece, of course, the last one's got to be kind of tricky because there's a curve. And so basically what you want to do is start from the left anchor it to the top part, and then work your way across. You're going to have to stretch this one because there is that curve. So start with the top, stretch it across the curve, and you got to bend it too a little bit because these curvy pieces are just tough. So anyways, so stretch it and then anchor it across the top. And then what you want to do is go ahead and, then you can flatten it out and work the bottom piece. Obviously, you're going to use your heat and your squeegee for this one as well. So once you get it anchored to the top, then you can do all of that. So there you go. So there's the piece anchored, and then just work it down. And then work the creases out of it, and get your squeegee and tuck in the corners here, especially on the left side, because there is the where the mirror folds there. So this piece here, so make sure you use your heat to tuck that in, make it look nice and flat. And then of course work the top and the bottom with your squeegee as well. Once you've done that, then you have completed the toughest part of this install. So that is the mirror. So I have a whole series on this, all the other pieces. So if you're interested, those will be in the description. If you thought the video was helpful, don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. And thanks for watching.